Hey guys, this is Boss Evans here, and I'm coming to you with my breast reduction video. So this is going to be a two-part video. The first part is basically just going to be me talking about my sizing, what I was, why I wanted it, and the steps that I went to go and get the procedure done. Part two is going to be about basically my surgery, what I went through, and the recovery process. So let's get started with part one. By the time I was like 16 years old, I was very active in middle school. I was a 34D in middle school. By the time I was in 8th grade, I was a 34D. That is a lot. I was very active. I played basketball and I played flag football in middle school. And by the time I got to high school, I live in New York City. So, not the city, but I live in Brooklyn, New York. So I moved from New York to Georgia for high school. And by the time I got to Georgia, like, they were really serious about their sports, and I wanted to play basketball, but my boobs were they were too big. So I ended up just being the varsity basketball manager after about 2 years of not playing and just getting tired of like not being active. I was still wanted to do something with basketball, so I was a varsity manager. So by the time I was 21, I'm 22 now. By the time I was 21, I started thinking more about, okay, I need to start getting this procedure done, because I was still active. I was in the gym, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. By the time I was 22, which was a year ago, by the time I was 21, which was a year ago, I was a 38 double D. Them shits was heavy, okay? And I couldn't deal. And I couldn't. I couldn't deal with it. And, yeah, it was just a lot. So finally decided, okay, I want to get this done. So I went on YouTube and started looking up videos. And the main reason why I'm making these videos is because although I got a lot of information from YouTube and watching the videos, I still had a lot of questions. And I went into my surgery very, very blindsided. And yeah, I just went in very, very blind, and yeah. So this is why I'm making this video. So I started, after watching YouTube videos, I started Googling and Googled breast reduction surgery in New York City. And I found this very good website. And I liked the website because they mainly had, they had videos of the women, and they had before and after pictures. So it was very informative. And finally, after psyching myself out for like 3 or 4 months, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this done. So I called the company, and my doctor name was Dr. Christopher Johnson. His assistant answered, Gigi. What up, Gigi? If you watching, Gigi is amazing, as well as my doctor, Dr. Johnson. She called me, and she basically like, oh, do you want to come in for your free consultation? And in my consultation, it was basically just him asking me like what was my problems. And my main problem area, my back wasn't hurting. A lot of people with big boobs, their back were hurting. I don't know why mine wasn't hurting. Mine wasn't hurting. My main problem was my shoulder. Like, you can't see it now, but my bra strap would dig into my shoulders, and they would hurt. Like, I didn't have back problems. I had shoulder issues. So, sat down with Dr. Johnson, and he basically, he basically was asking me like what were my problem areas, and he was writing all of this down. He was asking me my job, what do I do for a living, if my boobs are affecting my job, which it kind of was, just a little bit. And because they were so heavy, and I was telling him all of the information. And I will say to you, if you want this breast reduction because your clothes doesn't fit right, or you want to wear nice bikinis in the summertime, or your boobs doesn't match your butt, if you have a small butt or you have a small waist and your boobs is too big, do not go in there telling your doctor that. Do you understand me? Do not go in there telling your doctor that, because my insurance paid for my surgery, and everything that I was telling my doctor, the reason why I had problems, all of that information he was sending to my insurance company so they can approve it or not. So if you have insurance, which I recommend that you get insurance before you get this. If you have insurance and you want your insurance to pay for this surgery, when you go in there, you better say my back hurt, my neck hurt, my head hurt, my spine hurt, my toes hurt, my belly button hurt. Everything better hurt when you go in there, or else they will not approve of your surgery. Okay? So basically telling him all my problems. He left the room. I changed. He came back in to look at my boobs, and as soon as he saw them, he was like, yeah, you're a perfect candidate. I was like, nigga, I know. So he took pictures of whatever he needed to take pictures of, and he said he was sending the information out to my insurance company. And after I went to go speak to his assistant, she was basically gonna tell me that she was gonna inform me of like what my insurance company said and everything. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, Gigi called me and she was like, hey, they approved it, everything looks great, everything went fine. When do you want to schedule for your surgery? And my heart was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. I cannot tell you guys how scared I was. My main problem was being so scared of waking up in pain. Like, I did not want to wake up in pain. I didn't want to wake up in pain. I didn't want to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in pain. That was my main problem. So I was really psyching myself out. But I told her I would be able to schedule it in 2 weeks because I had to take time off from my job. I told her I was going to be able to schedule it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks was going to be January 12th, 2017. That's when my surgery was. So the Tuesday before my surgery was on a Thursday. The Tuesday before, I went back into my doctor, and he basically gave me a whole list of everything that I would need for my surgery. He also gave me all my prescription. When I left the office that day, I went to go pick up all my prescriptions. So Thursday came, my surgery was at 11:30. My surgery was at 11:30. I went into the hospital about 9:30. And I was very nervous. I was very scared. I think as soon as I walked into the hospital, I just blacked out. Like, my body was there, but I wasn't there at all. Like, I was very scared. So I did all my paperwork. I did all my paperwork, and then I sat down, I relaxed for a little bit, and then they called me to do a urine test. They have to make sure that you're not pregnant. I did a urine test, which I know I wasn't, but I did a urine test, and after my urine test, a few minutes later, they called me back. I changed my clothes and everything, and I was just waiting there. The anesthesiologist came to get me. She's basically just telling me how long she's been doing this and everything. And after that, she put in my IV. She asked me if I wanted the IV in my hand or right here. I chose right here because, I chose right here. And I was there waiting for my doctor. waiting for my doctor for like probably like 30-45 minutes, because he knew my surgery wasn't until 11:30, but I had to get there early to do all my paperwork and everything. So my doctor finally came in, and he was just like doing all of his linings and everything, and he was like, wow, everything looks perfect, the lining is perfect. I will say though, a lot of people were asking, I mean not asking, but a lot of people when I was looking at YouTube videos were like about liposuction. I did get lipo. I got lipo right here. That's my niece's name, by the way. I got lipo right here. I don't know if my insurance paid for the lipo. I don't know if my doctor just did it just because he wanted to. But when he was doing all of his markings and he told me to turn around, he saw, sorry, I live in Brooklyn. You know how these niggas act, because it's mad noisy outside. But, yeah, I don't know. But when my doctor was doing all his markings, he told me to turn around. And he saw, like, I had, like, a little bit of fat in my thing because of my boobs. Like, my boobs were really big. So he said that he circled 2 parts on my back. He said, I am going to lipo this out. So I don't know if he did that just of the kindness of his heart, or my insurance was going to pay for it, because I just don't know. But he did it. And I will say, yeah, after he did the markings, I laid back down. 5 minutes later, they came and got me. I laid on the bed, and all I remember was looking up, and I seen these big lights, and my heart was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And the next thing I remember was my doctor, he's like, you're nervous? And I was like, no. I was literally about to cry. Like, I was going to cry. But my doctor was really, really nice. And I remember, the last thing I remember was my anesthesiologist saying that, okay, you're going to feel something in your IV now. And literally like 10 seconds later, I remember just giggling. Like, I don't know what I was laughing at. I was just laughing. And then like after that, I was gone. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, some doctors woke me up to put on, I had a surgical bra on, but I woke up and they woke me up to put on the bandages, and they wrapped that motherfucker so tight. Oh my gosh, if I find them, I'ma beat their ass, because that shit was wrapped tight. But yeah, all in all, my surgery went great. I will say though, I had absolutely no pain during my whole experience. I felt pressure, I felt discomfort, but I had no pain. From the time I left the hospital, as soon as I got home, I started taking my meds. I started taking my meds every 4 hours because I didn't want to feel the pain. But it was a really, really great experience. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't. But it was a really great experience. It was, and I will say that I am so much happier because of the surgery. Like, from the time that I got up off the bed to go home, I felt so much more relief. Like, it was like on my shoulder, even on my back a little bit. Like, I didn't feel discomfort, and I was in a surgical bra and bandages that were tight, like, and I still felt amazing. So yeah, it's a really amazing experience, and it's worth it. So this is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 is basically going to be about the rest of my experience about my surgery, going home, treatments at home that I did, and also the products that I use for like my scarring and everything that my doctor prescribed, my medication I had to take. Well, I'm not going to put the medication in there because every doctor is different. But, and I'm going to go, part 2 is going to be before and after pictures of my boobs. So yeah, stay tuned, guys.